Pirate Nation on X. Assassin's Creed has, quote, overperformed this quarter, says Ubisoft. And when I saw this, I was like, X to doubt. We're going to need to do some deep dive research on this. And I'm not going to bore you with the black and white numbers here. But something that is curious was the section about Assassin's Creed. And to be clear, while it is talking about Assassin's Creed in general, it's not specifically talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is getting conflated with a lot of the journos out there. Whenever Ubisoft says something about Assassin's Creed overperforming, they're always running with, oh, see, we were right, chuds. Assassin's Creed Shadows is overperforming. Ubisoft even said it themselves. No, it's not. Assassin's Creed brand is overperforming, meaning back catalog. They're selling more of the older games than they had anticipated, and potentially selling additional Assassin's Creed Shadows. Seeing as they don't call that out specifically, I would assume that's not what's happening, though. The Assassin's Creed brand overperformed this quarter and saw solid activity metrics. The ambiguity from Ubisoft to their investors is classic. The words that they use are meaningless. Tell me the numbers, the activity metrics. What do you mean? With session days up 7% quarter on quarter and 28% year on year. Overall, the brand saw double-digit year-on-year growth in active users, underlining the strength and durability of the franchise. When I say give me numbers, I'm not talking about these numbers. How much money did you make from it? Because are you heavily discounting it on Steam, which is, I've seen it go on sale slash upwards of 90% for some of the games being on sale for pennies on the dollar. So of course, if you start wholesaling and fire selling your entire brand, of course people are going to buy it and play it more than they were when it was full price the year before. But this is all to trick the investors. It's slimy, sneaky talk. It's what they do. You need to read beyond what they're saying. Read in between the lines. The quarter notably saw the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2, enabling the title to broaden its audience, as well as the quality Valley of Memory update for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, this is hysterical because they don't say how it did. I read this, it sounds like it did terrible. How many copies did it sell? All you said was, notably, it went for sale on the Switch 2 this quarter. Uh-huh. And like, I feel like you're missing the other part of this. You can put a game for sale every day. What's it selling? Enabling the title to broaden its audience. That doesn't mean anything. I own a Switch 2. I didn't buy it. It didn't broaden to me. What do you mean it broadened the audience? This is pure copium. It's actually impressive. And this is the same Ubisoft that lied directly to the investors in the previous call, talking about, not the previous call, but like 2 calls or 3 calls ago, when I had them on audio and I covered this in a video, when they're talking about how the anticipation for the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows is very positive. And I'm like, where? That's a lie. Where is that coming from? You can't say that. Positive anticipation for this game. Gamers are really excited and looking forward to it. No, they weren't. What is that? You're straight up deceiving your investors with stuff like that. And when I called that out, the Ubisoft fanboys and the defenders, the wokies were like, they can't lie to investors. That's illegal. When I say they're lying to investors, I'm saying they're using words to deceive them. To me, it's the same thing. This is Nintendo Life. Assassin's Creed has overperformed this quarter, says Ubisoft. Firm cites Switch 2 release of Shadows as a contributing factor. No, they don't. They just said it came out and it broadened the audience. That doesn't mean it contributed. That doesn't mean anything. Ubisoft has released its financial report, Q3 2026, And despite expectations, it's actually not all doom and gloom. This is Ubisoft. This is you falling. The Fell For It Again award goes to whoever wrote this. It's not actually all doom and gloom. You know how I know? Ubisoft told me it's not. In fact, the firm states that the Assassin's Creed franchise has, quote, overperformed this quarter, noting that year-on-year growth in active users in double digits. The release of Assassin's Creed Shadows of Switch 2 has been cited as a contributing factor, which Ubisoft says enabled the title to, quote, broaden its audience, which again means nothing. It also mentions Valley of Memory update for Assassin's Creed Mirage, launching November 2025. Nevertheless, Ubisoft is pushing ahead with its big company restructure. Yeah, they signed a deal with Tencent. You say this like they're deciding to push ahead with it. They signed on. This is what they were doing. It's currently consulting with employees at its Paris headquarters with a view to reduce its headcount by 200. Meanwhile, it's aiming to finalize its new operation model in April. This will consist of 5 creative houses, with the flagship Vantage Studios already operational since October 2025. This creative house will focus on Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. And I've talked about this many times in videos previously, but a quick refresher on this. This creative house that they created with Tencent was a ship to sail away from the sinking Ubisoft and the $2 billion plus in debt that they're in, to have Tencent be able to get all the benefits from these games without taking on any of the risk or debt from Ubisoft currently. And in the process, by the way, screwing Ubisoft and their current employees there. This is everything that I read already. It says, time will tell, but it seems like Ubisoft will be keen to continue supporting the Switch 2 going forwards. Indeed, it's looking more and more likely that a remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag will launch in the near future. An art book for the release was spotted on Amazon UK, giving us another clear indication of the game's existence. Yeah, it's of course coming out. I had no question about that. We're talking about the company that can't seem to make a new game sell anything. So all they're doing is continuing to go back to the well once again, over and over and over again, to resell the same game to you because they can't make anything better, which is the same problem they came into when they tried making Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I said back at the time when that was coming out that if they can't make this game any better than the games that already exist, don't bother even making it. And then I played it and I'm like, it's okay, but it repeats. It's so repetitive. The voice acting was atrocious. The music in the fight scenes made no sense, and to a point of being comical. The stealth action was good. It better be. It's Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they went through with this, pushing Yasuke as the main protagonist of the game. But I guess that's what happens when your company is so filled with DEI that you think you can just push any agenda and then blame the customers for calling it out and saying that you're the bigots, you're the racist, you're the problem if you don't buy this game. They really thought that would work with it. And the entire time, it fell apart in their face, and they kept doubling down more and more on people that were complaining, saying, we don't want this. The entire time, all people wanted was just Japanese-based Assassin's Creed feudal Japan with an actual Japanese samurai. Why was that so hard to do? Well, with Ubisoft, I guess nothing's easy when you have a corporate structure pushing trans rights, rainbow flags, girl power at the office. And then you try to go to the real world where people don't operate like that. And then you try to blame them for not being a part of what your culture is. It's just comical. But yeah, that is that is the situation with Ubisoft right now. Do not believe anything that they tell you, especially in the investors' calls, specifically when they clearly avoid giving any sales numbers. If they're not giving you sales numbers and they start spinning, that's how you know it's not what you think it is. More people playing for more time, players engaged. Like, How much money did you make, bro? I don't care about these fake numbers that you keep coming up with. These new stats that never existed before. How much did you make? How many did you sell? You're still not giving people that information. If I was an investor at Ubisoft, first off, I'd be considering my life choices. But secondly, I'd be like, bro, what is this company spitting in my face telling me that it's raining? Like, no, I'm good. I don't want anything to do with this company. It's crazy to me that it's even still around. I think it's just at this point, Ubisoft is a controlled demolition, and Yves Guillemot is doing some very shady things, in my humble opinion. Things that I could even argue are not necessarily ethical in business practice traditionally. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a guy that fucks over a whole lot of people. I'm talking tens of thousands of people to ensure that he and his family are set for the long run. That and that doesn't even count talking about the employee sentiment at the work offices right now. That is just, it's really bad. And all of it, what a complete shit show Ubisoft is. It really is. But now I'll leave that there.